Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Cilinix Crypto. Hope you're all doing great, and welcome to this new video right here on the crypto markets. Also, welcome to the channel if you're new. I think I already said that, not sure, but in this video we're going to do a full overview of the markets right now. So we'll talk about all the fundamental developments and fundamental news you need to know about. Then we'll talk about Bitcoin. We'll zoom out, we'll zoom in. We'll do the same for XRP, and then I have some other altcoins, because this is the first time in a while that I actually do like the way some altcoins are looking. So we'll take a look at some other altcoins that I think you need to have on your watch list as well, and that's the video, and I'll try to keep it short and concise, so I won't take too much of your time while you do have an idea of what's going on with the markets. So, first of all, the major news, of course, is the trade war and how that is going, and just in general, well, right now, I mean, the main theater of that trade war is between China and the US. So far, we haven't really seen any major updates on that today. China had some remarks on that earlier today, but well, the Truth Social account of Trump is under my bookmarks right now, and there's nothing right here. Which is usually one of the first places where we actually do see some information. And then outside of that, there's also nothing from China, and that's also reflected in the markets. If you take a look at the stock market right now, it has opened about 1.5 hours ago. It's been relatively flat. Let me clean that up real quick. Today we did have some important data. We have CPI and inflation rate data that was lower than expected across the board. That's good news, all right? That's good for the potential monetary policy changes for the US. So far, haven't really seen a major reaction from that yet. But ultimately, in the long run, especially, and maybe also still in the short term, but that is something we'll see, and we'll talk about that a bit later. This is good news, all right? It's good to see. But like I said, right now, not much going on. Stock market, a bit of a gap here to the upside. So I am slightly, like, the stock market also left some major technical imbalances here to the downside. That's definitely true. But looking at this gap to the upside, and just in general, the fundamental developments for equities in the last 24 hours, I'd say it's most likely that, you know, even if we do get somewhat of a pullback here, I do think we're going to bounce from those support levels, and I do think this gap we left to the upside will be filled still this week. So that's either later today or that's going to be tomorrow. So overall, I'm fairly optimistic and fairly bullish on the equity markets, even though, like I said, right now it's relatively quiet. But this is also, I mean, most of you know this, you all know what you're talking about as well. This is also very dependent on headlines, right? So personally, I still have like 3 news tabs to the left of me on my other screen, going over all the news and watching all these live blogs. So it's a lot of work, but that's definitely something I would, you know, maybe put on some notifications on your mobile. Definitely something I would recommend. But that's kind of the situation here for the fundamentals. The Coinbase Bitcoin price at this point of time is also still at a discount, so I do not expect major outperformance from Bitcoin here. It could be good news, could be bad news. I personally do not mind that much. Because Bitcoin itself, if we zoom all the way out here, it looks quite good. I mean, Bitcoin has been able to reclaim that value area low right here to get back into this balance right here between 81,000 and 86,000 ultimately. Beautiful drawing. We've been able to break above that with a lot of volume. So far, we've also been able to hold that. So even if Bitcoin drops down lower into that level here between 80 and 78,000, at this moment, it still looks fine on the higher time frames. And on the lower time frames, I think it looks quite good as well. I mean, even though the Coinbase Bitcoin price is at a discount and the S&P 500 is relatively quiet here, you can see that that Bitcoin, after the US opening, and hopefully this makes sense, but I'll explain it. After the US opening, we dropped down into that blue line, which is the value area low. We made a bit of a buying tail here, which suggests that there's strong buying coming in there. And now you can see that the balance over the majority of today was between 82,200 and 81,400. Very tight, by the way. So that's in general a sign of volatility coming. And Bitcoin is now trying very, very hard to get back into that value area as well. And it looks like it's working. So that's short term also relatively bullish here. So overall, if we get a big spike still down for the stock markets, then Bitcoin is still going to fill that imbalance right here at 79,000. But whether we do that or not, I don't think it matters a lot. I think the equity markets and Bitcoin look strong enough to actually move up higher into that weak high we made right here yesterday, but also into the CME gap here at 84,000, which is also the previous month BOC, point of control. And then from there we'll see again. So I'm fairly optimistic on Bitcoin here. Obviously dependent on the fundamentals, but for now, yes. XRP, exactly the same thing. So far we've been able to hold this breakout right here at 1.95. Regardless of what the fundamentals do, like the fundamentals could definitely get some volatility in the game, but then I would expect something like this. Like this seems to me at this point of time like the worst case scenario for XRP. Now, like I said, if we get some bearish fundamental developments, we could certainly still drop down lower. But as it stands right now, I'd say this is most likely, and I do not anticipate this changing over the course of today, because I mean it's China's turn in this game of chess, of the trade war. And the Chinese are almost sleeping right now. So I do not expect major volatility today, maybe tomorrow, but we'll talk about that tomorrow. So XRP looks exactly the same as Bitcoin. Now there are some altcoins over the course of today that look a little bit better. Personally, I'm still quite hesitant, or I'm still quite cautious into buying into altcoins. I still think it's a major risk. But if you take a look at Athena, for example, so that is, I'll leave the abbreviations on the screen. Athena, if you take a look at that, it's gaining some nice volume here, leaving me to believe that a reclaim of this major key level at 32.5 cents is in the air. Hasn't happened yet, so we'll definitely wait for the confirmation, but it's showing some nice potential here. And there's some other coins as well showing the same. Quite a lot of volume coming from the bottoms and close to getting breakouts. So right now we're looking at Super, a gaming coin of course, which is very close to breaking above the 30-day VWAP here at 49 cents, also close to that 50 cents level. So this looks quite good. And then something else which some people requested, RSR. So this is reserve rights. This is the name. Very close to getting a reclaim here above this level between 0.8 and 0.75 cents. Also pulling in a lot of volume, definitely worth the watch. So even though right now I would still be cautious, because there is still that chance, especially based on the fundamentals, that we will fill those imbalances, the market is starting to look a little bit more healthy here. But I'll keep you updated on that. For now, I think that's what you need to know. So hopefully it helped. For now, thank you for watching. Take care. I'll see you all in my next videos, and bye.